Okay, so I'm going to talk about your value still life drawing project. So in the PDF on your Google Classroom, you need to finish a worksheet that looks like this. So this is all about value scales and using the different pencils that I sent home with you. The 6B pencil, it says it right here on the end, 6B. That is the darkest pencil. So you're going to use that pencil for the top value scale. The next darkest pencil, it's lighter than the 6B, but it's still on the dark side. Let's see if this will zoom in. Here we go. 4B. That's going to be a step lighter. Then you're going to go down to HB. Also, it's going to get slightly lighter. You're going to use that for this value scale. And then the lightest pencil that you have in your kit is 2H, and that is going to be used for this value scale. Then for the bottom two, I want you to make a value scale using hatching, so that's lines that go in one direction. And then in the last value scale, I want you to use cross hatching. So those are lines that intersect right here. And for these two value scales, I want you to try to use all of your pencils, whereas in the top value scales, you're just using the one specified at the top. So you're going to need your pencils to finish this worksheet. And then when you're done with that, first make sure you send a picture of this to me so I know that you did it on the Google form or on Google Classroom or to my email. Then in the PDF, you're also going to see worksheets where you cut out shapes that look like this. These are going to be folded into 3D forms that we're going to use in our still life. So I'm going to make mine right now. You might just need tape, or if you have a glue stick, you can use that as well. I made my 3 paper forms. So I have a pyramid, I have a cylinder, and I have a cube. Now the fun part is you get to choose one last still life object. I would prefer it to be round, so it could be an apple, or I have grapefruit at home, it could be a grapefruit. It can be anything you can find that is round. It doesn't have to be a perfect circle. But if you can't find anything that's a round form, any other object will do. Just keep in mind you'll have to draw it, so don't pick anything that's too complicated. So I'm going to arrange my shapes into a still life. So I want my still life to be something interesting and not boring. So I don't want to have everything like evenly spaced out like this, because that's not very interesting. So I can arrange things on top of each other if I wanted. I could stack. I want things overlapping. So whatever you think will be best for your still life, go for it. And we also want to keep in mind that you should be able to see the shadows as you are drawing. So I have my paper here, and this is where I'm going to draw what I see from my still life. And I also want to see in your drawing that you're using a range of value. You can definitely use hatching or cross hatching as well as we're shading. It's optional. You can just stick to plain area of value if you want, but hatching and cross hatching are optional. And you can definitely try it in some shapes or forms in your drawing and not in others. That would be fine too. One thing to keep in mind is lighting. I have a lamp over here, and when I turn that on, see the dramatic shadows that casts? That would be really fun to draw. So again, I just have like a regular lamp like this. It's kind of hard to show on the screen when I have my phone up here filming. Let me see, I can slide the whole paper to fit on here. And I'm just going to arrange these on the paper so I can still see it a little bit. So my next step is using my lightest pencil. I'm going to lightly map out the shapes so I can get the right angles, the right size, and yes, I want to take my time on this, because if I make a mistake here, it's going to be noticeable and I'm going to put more and more work into it over time, and I'll have to erase more if I don't get this right the first time. So I'm going to map out my still life, and then I'll show you the next step when I'm done. So I have the basic shapes of my forms mapped out on my paper, and I did that with my lightest pencil, the 2H pencil. I'm going to go in and I'm going to start adding the shadows. So I see shadows on the edges of the forms. Again, my phone is up here, so it's going to show the still life at a different angle than what I'm seeing from down here. So it just looks a little different from your perspective. But I'm going to be looking at the shadows, and I'm going to be looking at the shadows on the sides of the forms, and I'm going to try my best to match that using my pencils. So that's why I had you do the value scale, so you know what color grays you can get with what color pencils, and also what kind of heaviness you need when you, oops, sorry, keep moving my phone, and what kind of pressure you need to apply to get lighter and darker values. So I'm going to start that next. So that is my still life drawing. Again, the perspective is a little different from up here at this bird's eye view than what I was seeing when I was drawing. But here I use regular shading with my pyramid and my apple. I used hatching with my cube, and I used cross hatching with my cylinder. Again, you don't have to use hatching and cross hatching if you don't want to, but you're definitely welcome to try it or do a little bit of everything like I did. So again, the main point is to use your different pencils, create different values, different darknesses. Keep an eye on where the values are darkest and where the light is, so that you can show the range of grays and values in your still life. Also, when I looked at my still life, I could not see the end of my table, but if you can see the end of your table, you can definitely draw a line in the background, or you can just leave your drawing like this with your still life in the middle. Okay, so please send a picture of this to me in the Google form, or message me your image of your still life, as well as a picture of what your still life objects look like, so I can grade that.